have our grid for the first race. And it's Brainstew who sits on pole and picks up the 4 points that he gets for being in the fastest in qualifying. Then just 0.018 seconds behind him, it's Freeware in the Prima. He is in second place. Then Microlander in third, Domi in fourth, and Coolmanic in fifth. And remember, this qualifying sets the grid for the first race, but unlike F1, we are not going to be seeing these medium tyres that everyone has qualified on in that first race on that grid. No, ladies and gentlemen. These tyres are going to start to come back and haunt the drivers who have used them a bit too much in that second race, that sprint race after the exhibition race, where the top 8 from the first race will be reverse grid, top 8 on the sprint race grid. So, just a recap, qualifying is over shortly. We're going to be going through the full results on the formation lap here. Welcome to anyone who's new. My name's Unicorn, commentator for the Misfits Racing League. This one's just a little bit of fun. It's an F2 race, free for anyone in the Misfits to join, organised by Wisp and Domi, both of whom are racing here this evening. Excellent community. Go and follow Misfits Racing League on YouTube and Twitch. And Twitter as well. I'm not very active on Twitter myself, but I do believe the Misfits are. So, one of those good things. I do believe this... That just sounds so much fun. What are you referring to, Shorty? In the fact that these tyres are going to start to come back. But here we are. And let's see what tyres we've got here. Okay, so we've got a mix of medium and hards. So, Brainstew on pole on the mediums. Freeware behind him on the hard compound tyre. We'll have to see how that one works out for him. Then, behind them, we have Microlander and Freeware's teammate Domi in third and fourth. Coolmanic rounds out the top 5. Liam in sixth. Beavisk on the hards in 7th. Steph, Jake, and Undertaker round out the top 10. Then the Red Devil, Wisp, and Yasko, 11th through 13th, are on the hards. And then everyone below them on the median, and that's Moen in 14th, Crampy in 15th, Collis in 16th, Henners in 17th, Astronaut in 18th, and Cyril in 19th place. So, not quite a full grid, but pretty much as close as you can get without it being the whole thing. So 19 drivers, 19 laps in this first race. Thank you, Yoda, for putting the Misfits Twitch and YouTube links there in the chat. Everyone getting those tyres warmed up. Let's go to position changes because this race is about to be very hectic on the start. The rundown to turn 1 is going to be very crucial. The F2 cars do sound pretty good. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I don't know what engines they've got. Obviously, the F1 cars. V6 Turbo Hybrid. But here we are. Liam's been DSQ'd. Permanently or just from the outlap? Hopefully from the outlap, not the whole thing. He's still there on the grid, you can see his car. So hopefully he's allowed to join back. But here we go, we're getting ready. Everyone's forming up on the grid. We're just waiting for, I'm assuming that's Henners. There he is, the number 15. Jack Aitken's car, I do believe. See Yasko and the Vitusi there, taking his slot. Everyone just reshuffling as they load in. Okay, Liam is back. Coolmanic is apparently promoted to pole position. That's not the case. But the lights, all 5 lights are on. And it's lights out. Away we go here for the first Spanish race of the evening. It looks like Freeware has had an excellent start. He is going to be getting past Brainstew. There's already been an incident at the back of this grid. The time and time not telling me who that is. But it's Domi going 3 wide with Freeware and Brainstew. Brainstew, a little bit of contact with Freeware. He's on the outside of turn 1, but can he get the traction out of turn 1 he needs? It's the 2 Primus in first and second. There's a huge amount of lag coming through Domi's car. And that's Microlander looking around the outside. It's his teammate Moen, I think. No. I could have sworn it was Well, there's been some form of incident on the back of this grid, but there's a lot of cars going side by side. It's Steph and Liam. Steph left in the dust, and that's Beavisk up the inside. A massive lunge, and that's going to be a nice position gain for him. Whether he's going to go for Liam as well, it's a risky spot to overtake. It's not going to be for him. Coolmanic's hounding up the gearbox of Brainstew as well. A terrible start for the Vituzi car. He's already down into 4th place. Brainstew down 3 places. Microlander up into 2nd as well. Domi had a very laggy start to this Grand Prix. There's a battle going on down for the lower positions. And I think we are just about cool here. Well, no we're not, because Domi has had an issue. He's missed the chicane. He's going to come out ahead of Brainstew. He's got a 5-second penalty for doing so. What are they doing around here? What are the stewards making of that? Well, they're making of it. A 5-second time penalty. Coolmanic. Where's Coolmanic going? Well, he's still here. He's dropping down the order. The timing tower really not liking him today. But is Wisp, his teammate, under threat from Astrodite down into turn 1? It doesn't look like it's going to be. Domi and Microlander lag still plaguing everyone here as these two cars phasing through each other, but it is Domi up the inside of Microlander, and Microlander a little bit wide into the grass. Is that going to leave him vulnerable? It is. Brainstew back into, I believe, 4th place. The timing tower in these F2 races is no use. And who is that? It's not Freeware. It's Domi. It's Domi in the other Prima. He's getting that car spun around. He's dropped significantly to the back of this grid. So unfortunate for him. Crampy's had an issue as well. He had one in qualifying. He's had one here in the race in the Trident racing car. Very disappointing for him. Connor's in last, presumably. Not in first. But here we are. So, who is that? Is that Wisp? No? Yes, it is Wisp. It is Wisp. Miles off the track. Doesn't look like he's got any damage, though, on that car. Now, back up to the top of this grid. Goodness knows what is going on. We've got a safety car out here. And we've got a lot of people taking advantage of what is going on down at the bottom of this grid. Can Wisp get us an angle on this? Jake's DNF'd. There's his car. Absolutely mangled. Absolutely mangled. Oh my goodness. This has been a crazy start to this race. Absolutely crazy. And we're gonna take a moment here. Jake is left the session. I do believe that that means he's not gonna be in, unfortunately, for that sprint race at the end. But we have got a safety car out. We've got a moment to get our thoughts. Yeah, his car was completely damaged. Mechanical failure. His wheel was not where it should be. So, Freeware up 1 place from where he started. He is into lead of this race. Brainstew started on pole, had a bad start, but has made it back into P2. Coolmanic up 2 places. Good start for him. He is into 3rd place. Beavisk up 3, as is Steph, the top 5. Yasko, he's had an excellent start to this race. He is up 7 places into 6th place. So the Vituzi Racing drivers currently running in 2nd and 6th. Undertaker's up 3. The Red Devils up 3 for 7th and 8th. Astrodite up 9, as is Cyril rounding out the top 10. Wisp up 1. He's had an issue, but he's still managed to gain a place. He's in 11th. Leon is down 6 in 12th. Microlander's down 10. Crampy and the other Trident, both of whom running out of the points right now in 14th. Hennis is up 2. He's in 15th. Domi down 12. Not a good start for him. He's in 16th place. Moen's down 3 in 17th. Cotters is down 2, I believe, despite the fact he's got an arrow. We've got a few of the leaders coming into the pits here. And Jake, the only retirement right now. And let's have a look at the stops. So here we go. You can see some of the drivers at the bottom have had a pit, but Freeware hasn't. He is staying out. You can see the safety car sitting outside of turn 3. Yeah, how should I be pronouncing that page? I don't want to be pronouncing it wrong, but like I said, I don't watch F2, so the O, Vituosi. Vituosi? Virtuosi? Virtuosi. Which one? Yeah, someone spell it out for me and how I should say it, not how it's actually spelled. Please. Virtuosi. That better? Virtuosi. Hopefully that's a bit better. But now you can see the bottom half of this grid absolutely flooded with fresh hards, as well as Brainstew in 7th. Virtuosi is perfect. Excellent. Alright, Connors receives a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And all of that information I just told you about position changes, they're out the window now, because people have been in for pit stops. But it is still freeware. In this race, ahead of Beavisk and Yasko, the top 3. No, I can imagine there is an O in there, so I can appreciate that is probably how it's pronounced. I'm going to be more inclined to believe that Paige, someone who is a self-proclaimed F2 fan, compared to my simple mind, who has watched about 3 F2 races in his entire life that have spanned almost 2 decades now. But freeware and Crampy's retired. How's he done that on the safety car? He's done a George Russell. What's he done? And what's going on the start-finish straight? There's Crampy car, but what is going on down here? No. We want what's going on from here. Look at all these cars, all gaggled. What's going on? So much confusion, and we're only on the 5th lap. Vanix, thank you very much for the follow. Lovely to see you here. How are you doing? We are under a safety car on lap 5 right now, after Jake retired. Crampy's retired on the safety car, for those just tuning in. So Freeware's in the lead of this race. Yet to pit, but he did start high up. A lot of the leaders, the likes of Brainstew, Coolmanic, Steph now in 10th as well. They've pitted for fresh hards under the safety car. Freeware, wondering what his strategy is here. Maybe he's anticipating that all these close drivers is going to cause another issue. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that, because of how things have been going so far. Close racing has been a little bit difficult. I imagine we're going to see one more lap of safety car. We saw it at Baku last week, where the safety car did last a long time. The problem with the F2 cars is it takes longer to catch the safety car queue, because they're slower, of course, than the F1 counterparts. But still, nevertheless. F2 cars. No slouches if you ever got the opportunity to drive one. I imagine they would be rather terrifying because of their pace. But we are going around presumably just one more time. We're waiting for Codders all the way down there, as well as Henners and Donny. The Merc looks... It is a nice looking car. I would love to own one of those cars, as Beavis very close to the rear of Freeware, but Crampy struggling to control the F2 cars. They are very different, very completely different beasts to the F1 cars. So. Very tricky to get right, especially when you're so used to the F1 cars, but everyone, a big slide coming out of Beavisk there. Crampy coming in with a little bit of intel here, a little bit of off-the-shelf information from one of these drivers. Mandatory pit has to be 3 laps later. So, those who pitted under the first lap of the safety car, so that would be these guys on, well, what, 2 lap old hard? I don't think anyone did they? Liam, Mike, Lander and Moen. Oh, because their tyres are 2 laps old now. Ah, I see. Okay, but safety car is in. That's what you've been told by reliable sources. So a reliable source, informed by reliable sources, has informed us that Moen, Microlander, and Liam cannot go to the end because of their tyres and when they pitted for them. So that is very interesting information. Now, we are waiting for when Freeware hammers down to get this race restarted. It's lap 6. It's going to be lap 7 when we're back to green flag racing. You can see that long line of cars getting ready here. Freeware looks like he's opened the taps, and we are back to racing here around the Circuit de Catalunya. Who is going to be getting the good starts here? It looks like Freeware has had a pretty good start. What's happened to Moen? He's had a spin before he's even got to the racetrack. But there we go. We've got Cormanic looking. It's Brainstew and Wisp as well. Brainstew with a huge lunge into turn 1. That's a super nice move. You don't see that every day. Cyril looks like he's DC'd here, and that's unfortunate for him. Cormanic still on the rear of Steph as well. That was an absolutely beautiful lunge coming out of the Vituzzi car. Vituzio, I've forgotten how to pronounce it already. You can see that AI Cyril controlled car proving huge problems. Liam around the outside is going to give Cormanic the look on the inside. We've got a great view here as Microlander looks at Steph. Steph up the inside of his AI controlled teammate. Cormanic's up into 8th place. And there we go. Huge amounts of positional changes here on the safety car restart. It's lap 7 of 19. And oh my goodness me. It's now Cormanic on the rear of his teammate Wisp. Is that a light tap? It looks like Wisp managed to hold it. Who's going to get the run? Down into turn 10. Cormanic still behind his teammate. But not for long. There he goes. He is up past Wisp through turn 11. And Wisp, a little bit of a loss of traction through turn 12. Not quite opening the door enough for Liam to have a look. Can Microlander do anything different? No, but these guys are all tightly woven. Undertaker jumped into the pit lane. He's going to get off of those 6-lap-old mediums. Don't know whether he's going to need damage to repair, but we are locked and loaded for this battle. Domi getting very close to the rear of Astrolite. He has got a lot of ground to cover if he wants to really get back to where he started this race. And you can see the train up ahead. He wants to join in on that action. He wants to capitalise on the battling between the cars ahead. But he's not close enough to do so yet. But up the inside of turn 3, he has passed Astrolite well and truly. And the Prima car takes 11th place. He's almost back into the points. But this battle is not done yet. Astrolite has a little look up the inside. And oh my goodness, but we've got more battling up ahead. It's Liam around the outside of Wisp. Wisp seems to be struggling. There's a big slide from Microlander. That could have gone wrong for him. But it's Wisp in the number 8. I want to say Carlin. I don't know if that's the right name. Brainstrew and Cormanic having a little exchange as well. Is that the Red Devil? The Red Devil wide out of turn 9. That's not what you want to be seeing. Cormanic is apparently close to Brainstrew, but actually, in reality, he is not. Still this huge train, though, in the midfield of this race. Wisp, very well and truly in the middle of it. Although it looks like Cormanic and Liam might start to be getting a breakaway on. And Wisp, you can see the amount of cars behind Wisp. Wisp just seems to be struggling a little bit with pace right now. But we'll have to see what he can do, as he looks like he's got a bad exit on the final corner. And it's going to be Microlander looking, but he's not able to make it past. Honestly, no DRS right now because of the safety car. Domi is not going to be able to make it past Steph either. Microlander, you can see him just looking for a way past Wisp. And here goes Domi on the inside of Steph, but he's taking a bit too much on the inside, and that's grass. Yasko has been passed by his teammate. Henners is out of the session. It looks like he's retired there in the pit lane, though. Microlander looking around the outside of this battle. Still very much, he's got the traction around the outside, down up the inside into turn 5. And that is Microlander looking like he has got Wisp finally for P7. You've got Wisp now in P8, and he is dropping like a stone on this safety car restart. He's on older tyres than these guys. Steph, again, fresher tyres. Wisp on the tyres he started this race on. Is this where we start to see the likes of Freeware and Beavis. Their lead still pretty strong right now, and it looks like they're going to keep continuing. Undertaker's retired in the pit lane. Tim Alster, thank you very much for the following. For the follow, not the following. But we're still on board. This time it's Steph looking to get past Wisp on those aging hards. And you can imagine the mediums probably going to come into effect in 2 or 3 laps time. A big slide out of Steph in the final corner though. Is that going to open up the door for Domi? Yes it is. He's not going to have to ask twice. DRS as well. Is he going to have to get a lunge on Wisp, I wonder? Wisp comes over to defend the inside line. And around the outside, Domi, a bit of a lock-up though, you can see. There's the BWT of Steph. Where's Domi going to come out? He's going to come out fighting Wisp still. Where is that pink car? Just behind. Astrodite's here. Domi and Wisp going for an exchange of positions. It looks like Domi's still having a bit of a lag. Hello there is disabled at the moment. It's still here. It's just disabled at the moment, surely. But look at this 4 battle train we got going for 8th place, and I think Domi, he's torn his way through all of these guys. It's gonna start to just break away, make up some positions. He started much higher up than this still, but he's doing very well off the safety car restart. Codders has joined the rear of this train as well. But my goodness, this has been some great racing in the first half of this first race. We've got a sprint race to go. Steph has a look up the inside. Where's Codders? He's not going to be able to make it past. Or maybe he is. A late move at the inside. Not quite making it past the IMP Motorsports car. But my God, this has just been so good. And Freeware, let's get to a 3-second time penalty right now. That wouldn't change anything. But like you say, Shorty, there has been a lot. We'll check it. And there's a little bit less action. There goes Wisp. He is hopping into the pit lane for presumably some mediums to get him to the end of this race. Liam and Cool Manic. Liam's finally caught Cool, and I believe the Trident racing car takes P5 away from Cool Manic. This is Cool Manic's teammate Wisp. Going to be coming out in 14th, miles behind everyone else. But we will check the penalty situation in just a short while. Now these guys, will their hards make it to the end of this race? I'm inclined to say yes, but with not a lot of pace. Wisp, on the other hand, he's a long way behind, but he's on the mediums. Can they give him the pace he needs to recapture some of the positions he's just lost in that pit lane, with that pit stop? He's 25 seconds down to Moen, and Moen's 9 seconds down to the car ahead of him. It's a big, big challenge, and I don't know if the short number of laps that we have left is enough for Wisp to do any damage. Is Microlander going to be able to forge away past Cormanic, who has a big mistake, and that answered my question pretty quickly there. Yes, he is. Let's go back on board with the battle for 9th place. These three still going at it, and there's an end plate coming off of someone. Who's lost that? You can see Codders looking to try and find a way out the inside. Everyone just trying to cancel out the slipstream, but it's Astrodite up the inside into turn 1. DRS. Obviously they're side by side, him and Steph, but I think Steph is just about to defend the position. Astrodite has to be careful of the Irishman behind him. It's Codders in the MP car looking to try and find a way past, but it's not to be at the moment, and they all remain where they are. And this battle, the closest on track right now, it's 3 cars, and it was Astrodite's end plate that came off. He's missing that front white one there. So let's have a look from Codders' point of view. What sort of damage he can inflict here. You can see Astrodite just struggling to find that apex through turn 7. Not able to make that move right now, and you can see there's a train starting to form as well. Domi's caught the rear of Cool Manic. He's about to get DRS. A big lockup from Astrodite, almost causing a big slide, but manages to catch it, and he holds on to 10th place right now. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3, and it's Yasko. What's happened to the Vituzio? of Yasko. He drops to 8th place, and that has slowed up some of the cars. And I think this is going to give Domi the run he needs. It's also helped out Microlander, it seems, who's about to have a nice little run at Liam. DRS enabled, and the Trident is a sitting duck. Nothing he can do. He comes back for the slipstream down through turn 1. He's going to look for a way past here. Is he going to find one though? It doesn't look like it. That move is pretty much locked and loaded. That's not how I wanted to go on board with at all. I wanted to go on board here with Astrodite still in this battle for 9th place. Codders looking like he might be trying to take 10th though as well. It's always great. We have these three-way battles. Coolmanic and Domi, they're side by side coming down into turn 5. Domi a little bit early on the brakes, trying to get that cut back to Coolmanic on board with the Prima, and it's Coolmanic in P6, but for how long? Domi looking at the inside of turn 7, not finding his way past. Gonna stay behind for turn 9, get the DRS down into the run for turn 10. This is a very tight battle between Domi and Coolmanic. Brainstew's caught Beavis as well. Domi fakes the outside, goes for a lunge up the inside, both pretty late on the brakes. And it's Coolmanic who comes out worse than the two. Domi up into P6. We've got a yellow flag ahead. And I believe that was Freeware. He's dropped our lead of this race. Beavis goes into the pits, and here goes Brainstew into the lead of this race. This race has not stopped giving action to us since the moment it began. Freeware coming into the pits. He's in 3rd place. He's going to be getting some fresh mediums, I do believe. Unless it's time for softs or super softs even. But my goodness, not the best of luck for Freeware. Again, plagued by bad luck. Unfortunate for him. Once Codders, can we see if he can get a run on Astrolite? He's going so fast down to turn 1, almost hitting 200 mph, but not quite finding the pace. Let's have a look at the race director and incidents. Microlander, Domi has a 5-second penalty. Domi's got a lot of 5-second penalties. Codders has a 5-second. Hennis has a 5-second. Who's that? Codders has another one. Brainstew has one as well. And this could cause some issues. But Freeware has a couple as well, by the looks of it. But yeah, that is a quick overview of what's going on in the world of penalties. It's Codders on the rear of Astrodite right now. Can he get a run down into turn 10? Out of turn 9, it looks like Astrodite had a nice exit through there. DRS is a little bit short, and it looks like Brainstew's had an issue now. So the lead exchanges hands once again, and it's now Microlander, and there's a big spin out of the Vituzio. And that is Brainstew very well and truly missing out here. He's trying to find a way back onto the track in Kyoto's car, and he's going to be finding himself coming into the pit lane. Freeware, he's got the back of Moen on these fresh medium tyres. He's out of the points right now. He'll want to at least get into 8th place. If he gets into 8th, it's going to give him a nice pole position for that sprint race that will come after this one. And it is Freeware up into 9th place, past Bowen to some more points, but not into that reverse grid, and he needs to catch Beavis, and Beavis is on those fresh mediums as well. Let's go back on board with Astrodite though. Codders in 6th place, and a mistake from Astrodite could cost him. Brain's just coming out all the way down in 13th. How unfortunate for him. The leaders here have been plagued with bad luck and issues, and Microlander right now 2-second lead, but we've already seen that lead exchange hands multiple times already. Are we going to see it happen again? What is the play? He's also on very, very old tyres. If Beavis and Freeware have pace compared to these guys, there's only a few laps left. I don't know whether punctures or something we could see come into the end of this race, but right now, tyre difference in the top 7, not drastic at all. But looking behind them, Beavis and Freeware on those fresh mediums. Are they going to be able to become a headache for these drivers? As Freeware's teammate Domi is catching Liam nicely. He's had an excellent recovery race. He did not have a good start, but now After all that drama, the yellow flag, this brain stew having another issue, it would seem. Oh, the safety car. He's managed to claw his way back up. Yasko and Moen, they've exchanged positions. Moen seems to have had an issue for the final turn. And Wisp as well seems to have had an issue. But it's not going to cost him as brain stew comes into the pit lane. Domi very close to the rear of Liam. And it looks like brain stew has retired. He's calling it a night there. It would seem unfortunate for him. It was only going so well, but not able to keep it going well into the closing stages of this first race. Remember, if you are enjoying, only hards and mediums here. Thank you very much, Hampi. Liam, a little bit of shake. We're starting to see these tyres, these old hards, really become an issue for the drivers that are on them. And that's only going to be good news for the likes of Beavis and Freeware as Michael comes into the pit lane. Those tyres are just too old for him. He doesn't want to risk it, and where he comes out could make this race even more interesting. But it's Domi and Liam battling out for what is now lead of this race. And if Domi's position gaining ability continues into that sprint race, starting 8th place wouldn't really be a problem for him. Liam hasn't been doing badly either, and as a result they've been gifted with these front 2 positions. Coming out of turn 5, very nice stuff from these two. Domi just sort of following along right now, not going for anything out of the ordinary, not going for anything crazy. He's just doing what he has to stay on the rear of Liam and keep that DRS. It looks like he lost a bit of time though, and that's going to cost him coming down into the chicane. Also DRS, he wants to time it so that Liam doesn't have enough opportunities in that DRS zone. He wants to limit Liam's opportunities. He's going to want to overtake in the DRS zone down into turn 10 on that final lap ideally, and just keep Liam from that point on behind him. Beavis and Freeware are starting to catch Astrolite ahead of them. He's on aging tyres. You would imagine that they're not going to pit now. Here goes Domi looking around the outside of Liam into turn 1. Liam not giving the position up that easy though. The lead of this race still belongs to the Trident, and it looks like it's going to stay that way as well, as Domi with a light tap is going to get passed by Commentated. That is so unfortunate for Domi. That is not what he wants to be happening. He's still got the second race to have a nice chance for. But here comes Beavis. Traction on the fresh mediums. A little bit too good as he bumps Astrolite a little bit lightly in the rear. But it is Beavis finally making a place on these fresh mediums. And Domi now in P3. Not going to be too happy. Now, we're not sure whether Liam can go to the end on those tyres. Same with Moen. If he gets DSQ when he's crossed this lines, Commentated could be the winner of this race. But Commentated, he's ahead right now, but Domi is not leaving him behind. Where is terrible camera angle, so we missed the pass, but Freeware gets up into 7th place. What I was about to say before that happened is Domi not far from Commentated. Here are the two. We just saw Freeware, his teammate, get a position. Can Domi get back past for P2 of this race? We're on the final lap now. At least the leaders are. And here goes Domi doing a very similar move. Commentated not putting up too much of a fight as of right now. But are we going to see him come back later on in the lap? It's very possible. Freeware's going to have a look at Beavis as well. These two similar tyres. The Prima, we've seen one Prima make the move down around the outside of turn 1. That's a nice move from Freeware, but it's not quite nice enough as Beavis has a look around the inside of turn 3. But that's the move. Done and dusted for Freeware. Up into P6. He's going to be happy with that one. And this puts him in a nice starting position for the next race as well. So you've got to bear that one in mind. Can Commentated get the move back on Domi? Is Liam going to actually win this race? Is he going to beat DSQ when he crosses that line? We're about to find out. These guys definitely aren't going to catch him on track though unless he makes a mistake. Domi looks like P2 is in the bag. He's got past Commentated and he's got past Commentated well and very convincingly. There's a lapped car of Cyril. He is getting in the way here. Blue flags are being shown, but it's AI control, it's slow, and it's cost Commentated big time. I don't think it would have actually changed the finishing order, but he's still probably going to be annoyed at it nonetheless. Liam comes across the line. It doesn't look like it's been DSQ'd. Domi comes home second. Commentated takes him on penalties though, and that's something that's going to play an issue here. Or, not an issue, a role, I should say. Steph comes home in fourth. Cotters, where's he going to finish? He's had a good race to come home. Well, 7th after Beavis gets promoted past him and Freeway, who gets promoted ahead of him. Astronaut in 6th place. Microlander in 9th. Penalties are coming into play here a lot. Here comes Yasko in the Vituzio. He is going to take 10th place and round out the point scoring finish. Moen, he's going to be able to finish this race. We thought that maybe him and Liam couldn't go to the end, but in fact they could. Yoda obviously right with the safety car. Wisp comes home in P12. He's going to want to do better in that second race, but it's going to be a struggle from P12 on the grid, and the Red Devil crosses in last. But here's your winner, Liam. A strong performance. Mistake-free is the key point here. We saw a lot of mistakes. Astronaut picks up in-game driver of the day, but don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go straight into another race here. This race sets the grid for the sprint race. It's a few less laps. It's a bit shorter than the one we've just witnessed, where Liam takes the crown. And goodness me, how well deserved it was. Domi not being able to pick up P2. Getting beaten by, I believe that's Commentated on P2. Hopefully I'm right. It is indeed Commentated. Nice, you can see all the penalties there, lots of them. Liam with 3 seconds, Commentated with 6, but Domi with, was that 11 seconds? It was indeed. Steph with 9, and Beavis rounds up the top 5 with a few penalties of his own. Astronaut kept it clean, 18th to 6th, very strong drive from him. It's also worth noting Liam 6th to 1st, Commentated 5th to 2nd, Domi 4th to 3rd, Steph 8th to 4th, and Beavis. So there's then Astronaut, Freeware, not a good race from him, Codders, Microlander, and Yasko round out the top 10